G'day, today we're going to be drawing a lion, and let's not waste any time, let's get straight into it. You'll need a sheet of paper and a pencil. I'm actually using a 2B pencil, but whether it's HB or 6B or 4B, don't worry, just pick up a pencil, let's get going. And I'm going to start off with very light, gentle lines. Now I'm doing a bit heavier here for the sake of the camera. You can do them a little bit lighter. These are your guidelines. Little tiny circle out there, which is going to be the ear. Another circle here, which is going to be the snout. I'll just smooth up the top there. See how I join the line there. And curve a line down here. It's going to have an open, gaping mouth. And down where the chin is, if you get those sort of brackets there in the right way, you get the chin there. Around here I'm putting another circle just as a guideline as to where to put the eye and the eye socket and everything around it. And we're starting to get the main shape here. I'm going to sort of square off bits here. So like a rounded square, because I'm putting in, that's where the nose is going to be, of course. Shading in a little between those two circles there, and here is where the eye is going to be. Kind of looks like a bear at the moment, but we'll fix that. Right, so one side of the snout slash mouth is here, another bit's over here, and we're going to pop in the bottom lower jaw here. A letter V there for the fang. Another one here. And let's kind of work out where they're going to be down here. About there. And over a little bit at a slight angle there. Up, down, upside down letter V's. And they've got a funny sort of, kind of like black gums which show when they roar. Pop that here. As I'm drawing this, every now and again I pop in a picture of the finished drawing, so you sort of got an idea of where I'm going with this. So just strengthening up the chin there a bit, and just throwing in a couple of guidelines here as to where the mane's going. Okay, going to work on this eye a little bit. Looks like I'm squaring it off. I'm actually making it a bit smaller with a bit of a brow there. A little bit that sort of comes off the corner of the eye there and there. And underneath here is a bit that remains white, which makes their eyes look really fearsome. It sort of throws emphasis on those eyes. So just up here I'm working on the forehead a little bit. And here's a few wrinkles coming down. So when they really shout, their face wrinkles up a bit, makes them look even more savage. Now here, do this very, very gently. I'm doing a kind of crosshatch, I suppose you'd call it. And each one of those points that intersect, I'm putting sort of a squiggly dot. And that's going to be the whisker pad. Shading a little bit here, quick line through there, sort of a line through there where the top teeth are going to be, and now I'm sort of shading or working on this other side of the mouth. Put the pencil to the side and you can shade faster because more lead gets in contact with the actual paper. So that's why I hold my pencil that way just because it's a bit quicker. Now down here, some teeth on the other side of the tongue. So those teeth don't have to be that noticeable, but you do want them there. And shading in a little bit more of that inner mouth. Now shading a little bit of the dark gums there. Marking out the tooth a bit. Let's press a little bit heavier to mark these teeth out. They're curved on the outer and straight on the inner. Shade there. Going curve on the forward bit and on the inside a bit straighter. You can see I've done that with the bottom fang down there. And that one's sort of curving out, looking really gnarly and nasty. Now I'm shading fairly roughly the gums. I'm sort of cross-hatching a bit to leave little white sparkly bits because it's sort of moist. And I better put some bottom teeth there too. So between the fangs top and bottom are the tiny little teeth that mammals have. They are the milk teeth, so they don't bite mum's nipples off when they're drinking milk. Unless they're adults, the fangs just grow bigger for killing. So I'm just defining bits here. Once you sort of find where things are meant to go, you can just sort of darken them in a little bit. A little bit of shade on the tongue there, but leaving it out where it's closer to the tip of the mouth is going to be lighter, but where it goes deeper into the throat, darker. Some wispy bits here for the little bit of a beard on the chin. Now, under the chin here, I want to darken it up. So I'm sort of doing a zigzaggy line. So it's not even, it's sort of fluffy. Darkening these bits up. Okay, a bit of the mane. See how I sort of flick it around. Don't worry if it's not perfectly accurate. It's fur, it just goes all over the place. Okay, under the eye here, a bit of a cheek, which I'm just doing a few lines here. I might put a few lines under the white bit, just to make that show out a bit. Now here, it's like a letter C on the side, with a letter U under that, connecting it, which I'll shade in. That looks like a bit of lights hitting that eye. And some lines. Notice how I put the lines here, it's sort of directional. And here behind this whisker pad needs a bit more shade. So I'm using lines, so zigzaggy lines or just lots of lines together to create the shady bits. Because it also not only creates shady bits, it looks a bit furry as well. Here you see the zigzaggy line that I'm doing there, making it a bit fluffier looking. Could do a little bit more of that here. Because on the top of the snout between the eyes and the nose, it's probably not as furry, but it is a little tiny bit fluffy. Just extending that nose a bit here, popping a little slanty shape there, which I'll colour in. Another bit there and a little bit down here, joining up to the split top lip, which I'll darken that in as well. Fairly happy as to where that is. Over here, that curve here, showing the upper lip there. And popping in those milk teeth up the top there. And making that a bit fluffy looking. Just a dashy, zaggy line. Alright, holding the pencil like that just for a little bit of shading. When you hold it like that, it's good because you can do a little bit lighter as well, so it's not too heavy. So if I just pop a little bit of shade here, again, doing this makes the white under the eye show up a little bit more. And I might gently erase some of those lines there. If you've done it a little bit lighter, you might not need to use the eraser, which is good. Just a little gentle shade there, so I'm not pressing very hard. Because one of the things, if you want to learn how to draw, a lot of it is down to the pressure you use. If you use the pencil very gentle, or use it very firm, hold it this way, like you're writing, you can get it darker. Throw a few whiskers out there. Popped a few whiskers here and there. And just a few more lines here. So here I'm just sort of darkening bits up. Fairly happy where I put the lines, and so I can just go over them and make sure they're darker. You could, if you wanted to, go over this with a marker pen later on. But I was just doing the pencils for this demo here. Time to pop in that ear. Very gently I'm going to put a line there as a guideline. So the outside line is the actual ear. The inside line is just where I can put these strokes here. And I might pop in a little bit of a darker bit in here as well. Usually with the lines you just sort of see a little bit of the ear poking through the mane. So again, if I want some sort of softer lines, sort of thicker and softer, I sort of hold the pencil sideways a bit. So it's coming down at a softer side angle here. I'm almost ready to start popping the mane in. See, I use sort of swishy lines. Now again, it doesn't really matter too much if you get this wrong, because hair blows all over the place, so you know, it may have just blown the way you put it. But it's sort of fun doing these flicky lines. It's good when you can chuck in some lines you don't really have to care that much about. Sort of fixing up his sideburns there. Now around the back of the ear here, it's going to be a little bit in shadow. The important thing here is not to go too crazy and don't cover the whole mane with black lines. You want light bits and dark bits. So where I flick these out, I will leave a few white bits here and there. When you're drawing hair, it's very important to leave a few white bits in. So it's sort of the same with the mane. Now you see how my hand wants to flick a certain way? Because I'm resting my wrist on the table, it means that I have got a certain arc that my hand will turn in. And I'm using that to my advantage because I'm just doing these quick, fast, but slightly curved lines. Just move the paper around to follow the arc of my hand. I can go over, darken bits up and leave light bits in. So like I say I want some dark bits. Probably want dark bits at the edges to define where it goes, and certainly behind the ear here. I want some dark bits behind there because the ear would be causing a little bit of shadow to happen. Now you can pop down a piece of paper if you like. If you're going to rest your hand on the paper, stick down another piece of paper and it'll stop your drawing from smudging. Especially if you're using like a 2B, 4B, 6B, any of the softer pencils will smudge very easy, so a piece of paper may help avoid a lot of that. Especially since I'm doing sort of flicky motions like that, which could really smudge a lot. And see how rough I can get with some of this too. Now if I hold the paper this way, the arc of my hand goes in the other direction, which gives a slightly different curve. I can still sort of curve that way if I want to join bits up. Over here I'm popping a little bit of the mane that's on the other side of that mouth and connecting it down here as well. And I'd say with a little bit more shade under the chin that this guy's pretty much done. Now you can just go on and tweak this constantly, but here's the line. I might even actually put in a few wiry stray little bits of hair here and there for the fun of it. You don't need to do that, but I like to just chuck in the occasional detail here and there. And I'm just putting a little bit there on the forehead. A little zigzaggy line connecting the mane to the forehead. So there you have it. If you like this sort of video, let me know in the comments. I hope it's been helpful, and I hope it's giving you something to do in these strange times that we live in. I'll see you in the next video.